And the third question, which is more important to me, is, do you think you can love your students at least as much as your own children, if not more? Let me share a small incident, my friends. This is a very touching incident which has transformed my life. I was a student many years ago in the 10th standard examination, the board examination. I stayed with my sister in one city in India. My parents were away. My father was in government service. Being an honest government servant, he was transferred more frequently. He was down somewhere else. After the examinations are over, we went to stay with our parents. Since parents were happy to get children after a long gap, my father organized a small tour of 7-8 days around different places. We came back at night and slept. Early morning, my father was reading the newspapers of the previous 8 days. Suddenly he found the 10th board results had come. He was so happy. Suddenly he asked my sister, what is this boy's name number? She gave the number. He went through the paper. They looked at my number in the rank list. State rank holders. I was not there. My sister felt depressed. She looked into the first class. My number was not there. Looked into the second class. It was not there. They looked into the third class. It was not there. That means I had failed in the 10th board examination. My sister and mother cried. My father was upset. I did not know, I was still sleeping. Initially, remember my friends, as teachers we should know, all of us are born with two minds. One is the emotional mind, other is the rational mind. Emotional mind acts faster. Rational mind acts slow. First we become emotional and slowly the rational mind comes. Same thing perhaps happened to my parents. After some time the emotion subsided. They realized that I am the only son. They decided to be very kind to me. When I woke up, my parents were very kind to me. When you find your parents too kind, you find something fishy about it. I asked my sister what happened. She could not control. She told me, you have failed in the 10th board examination. Which subject have you failed? I felt terribly depressed. I never expected to fail. Then the only person who could guide us in this matter was the headmaster of the school. We decided to go back to school. My father and myself went to the school. You can visualize what would happen to a student who has failed in the examination and is going to meet the principal of the school. I prayed God that I become transparent and nobody would see me. And to go to the principal's room, I had to go by the side of the staff room. And again I prayed, God, let there be no one in the staff room. And even if somebody is there, they would not see me. But unfortunately, my mathematics teacher was sitting in the staff room. And most unfortunately, he saw me. He called me, hey, come in. I went inside. My head bowed down. Stood before him like a lamb to be butchered. My teacher scolded me in chaste words and said, idiot, can't you get 35 marks out of 100? You got only 13, 1-3. I taught you the whole year to get only 13 marks. Go, appear for the supplementary examination. First of all, I was crestfallen. When my teacher shouted at me, I became miserable. I came out crying. Then my teacher called my father inside and shouted at him also. What kind of responsibility, gentlemen? When the results come, should you not be in town? You lock the house and go away? This child cannot fail. Look at the mark sheet. He has got exceptional marks in all subjects. He cannot fail in mathematics. But the fact is that he has failed. I don't know how. The government gives only 5 days after the results to apply for retotaling. You are not there. Then said, don't worry. I have myself filled up the application form as a guardian. I paid the requisite fee also. Let me tell you, my friends, the amount of money he paid at that time to apply for retotaling was a fortune for a teacher at that time. He signed the application and sent it to the government and told my parents to take care of me. I remember the day. It was a hot afternoon. I was sitting in my house. I saw my teacher coming on the road. The old style person, He was holding the chappals, the slippers in his hand and walking on the hot road, hopping on one leg, perspiring profusely. I was wondering, where is my teacher going? He turned towards my house, dropped his chappals outside and walked in. You can imagine what would happen to a student when his very dear teacher comes to his house in this fashion on a hot afternoon. I just stood up. Let me tell you, my friends, he came inside, just hugged me and started crying like a child. I did not know as to why my teacher was crying. After 5 minutes, my teacher extricated himself, put his hand in the inside coat pocket, took out a piece of paper. It was a telegram from the Department of Education which said, my result is changed from failed to 8th rank to the state. Let me tell you very honestly today, I was not very happy that I got the 8th rank to the state. I was immensely happy that my teacher came home, hugged and cried. Tears won't come so easily, my friends. Only when your heart's deepest feelings are involved, you cry, otherwise you don't. What made my teacher come home and cry like a child? He rejoiced at the success of a student. Let me tell you, my teacher goes up in my esteem when I tell you that his own son, who was my classmate, had failed in mathematics which his father taught. Let us put our hand on our chest and think, how many of us do that? When my own son has failed, do I bother about some other child who has failed in the school? Yeah, I may say in the staff room, this child should not have failed, that's all. But my teacher did not stop at that. He went to my house on 3 consecutive days, found the house locked, felt frustrated. Did he stop at that? No. He filled up the application form as the guardian, paid that money also, which was a fortune for him, and sent it to the government. Not only that, when the telegram came to the school, he could have sent a small slip to my house. Come immediately, results have come. I would have gone running to the school. After all, it was my career at stake. But my dear teacher pushed the tragedy of his own son's failure to the backyard, came running to my house on a hot afternoon, hugged and cried. In those 5 minutes of hugging and crying, my teacher demonstrated to me what teacherhood is. He did not give me a lecture about what a teacher should do. He demonstrated that. Remember, values are not lectured. Values are not taught. Values are not professed. They are demonstrated. In those 5 minutes, my teacher demonstrated to me an important virtue, that if you want to be a teacher, you should know how to love your students. My teacher loved me more than his own son. It is in this point I decided to be a teacher come what may. Therefore, my friends, the third question is most important. If you love your students intensely, at least as much as your own children, you automatically become a creative teacher. If you don't love your students, we have no business to be in teaching. Therefore, these 3 questions to me are very important. Later in my life, I read the great man, Confucius of China. He is a wisdom personified. He summarizes the entire ethics of teaching in 3 words, 3 Chinese words. I want you to know that. 3, I knew that brevity is a virtue, but this kind of brevity I had never seen. He uses 3 Chinese words, Ren, Yi, Li. R-E and Ren. Ren means an act of absolute love. The first qualification for a good teacher is to be a model of love. He should love his students so much. And second, E, Y-I-E. E means moral uprightness. A teacher must be morally very strong. If teacher is not morally strong, he cannot pass on morals to his students. Because teachers and parents are the only 2 class of people who become role models without their permission and knowledge. Therefore, teachers have got to be morally very strong. Many people have asked me, why is that all conditions are only on teachers, not on people of other professions? I tell them, the moment you go on the platform as a teacher, you become a role model without your knowledge. Therefore, I have got to stand up to the image that a role model has to stand up. And third, Li, L-I, Li, is etiquettes both in personal and professional life. Remember, every profession has a hazard. A policeman is condemned to live with criminals. As a politician, your life is short. As a cinema star, your life is very short. Similarly, the danger for a teacher's life is you can't draw a line between your personal life and a professional life. Only those who dare to keep their personal life also as an open book can become extraordinary teachers.